Every morning you wake up and tell yourself, today's going to be different. You've got a plan. You've got intention. You've even got your list. And then the day starts. The emails pile up. Someone needs something from you. The urgent crowds out the important. And by 2 p.m., or maybe it's 10 a.m. for some of us, the day has run you instead of the other way around. And you know what most people do at that point? They look in the mirror and they say the same thing they always say. Why can't I just be more disciplined? I want to show you today why that's the wrong question and what to ask yourself instead. I'm Brian Nichols, founder of Solving for Change, and I want to talk about something that I think is quietly exhausting a lot of really capable people. Here's the pattern I see all the time. Someone starts Monday with total conviction. They've got a plan. They're going to wake up earlier. They're going to be more focused. They're going to stop reacting and start leading. And for a day, maybe two, it works. And then something happens. A hard meeting, a bad night's sleep, an unexpected crisis, and the plan falls apart. And instead of looking at the plan, they look at themselves. I have no follow-through. I start things and I never finish them. I've tried this before and it never sticks. I'm the problem. Here's what I want to say to all that. And I want you to hear this clearly. You're not the problem. And you're almost certainly not lazy. You're running on something that was never designed to hold. And there's a name for it. It's called willpower. And willpower is a feeling. Now, feelings are real, but feelings come and go. And if your entire strategy for getting through a tough day, for staying focused, for making good decisions, for showing up as the person you intend to be, depends on a feeling that runs out by noon, then the system is broken, not you. Here's the reframe I want to offer you today. Stop diagnosing yourself. Start diagnosing the system. The most consistent, effective people you know, the ones who seem to operate with a steadiness that looks like discipline from the outside, they're not running on more willpower than you. They've built better systems than you. And that distinction changes everything. Because willpower is a resource that depletes. Every decision you make, every moment of resistance, every time you push through something hard, it draws from the same finite account. And by the time the afternoon hits, that account is overdrawn. That's not weakness, that's just how it works. A system is different. A system doesn't care how you feel. A system runs whether you're inspired or exhausted, whether yesterday was great or terrible, whether you feel like doing the thing or you absolutely don't. And one of the best illustrations that I've ever come across isn't from a business book or a productivity framework. It's from the bottom of a swimming pool in Beijing. August 13th, 2008. The Beijing Olympics. Michael Phelps, already the most decorated Olympic swimmer in history, was in the water for the 200-meter butterfly final. He had trained for this race for years. He and his coach Bob Bowman had built one of the most systematic preparation programs in the history of competitive athletics. Not just physical conditioning, mental preparation, visualization, contingency planning. What do you do when things go wrong? And then, things went wrong. Seconds after Phelps dove in, water began seeping into his goggles. By the first turn, his goggles were completely flooded. He was basically swimming blind. He couldn't see the lane markers. He couldn't see the wall. He had no way to judge distance. Any athlete in that moment would have every reason to panic. Phelps didn't panic. Because Bowman had built a system that included preparing for exactly this kind of moment. Part of that system was stroke counting. Phelps knew from years of deliberate practice exactly how many strokes it would take for him to reach each wall of the pool. He didn't need to see it. The system knew. He basically swam the entire race blind. And when he touched the wall at the finish, he had no idea where he'd placed. He looked up at the scoreboard. World record. Gold medal. 1 minute, 52 seconds. It wasn't an extraordinary act of willpower in that moment that won the race. It was a system built patiently, deliberately, long before the crisis that carried him when his circumstances couldn't. The system held when the conditions didn't. That's not a story about swimming. That's a story about what's available to you. So what does building that kind of system actually look like? Here are 3 things that make the real difference. Number 1, stop diagnosing yourself, diagnose your system. The first shift is diagnostic. And it sounds simple, but it changes everything. Every time you catch yourself saying, I'm just not disciplined enough, pause and ask a different question. What is my system for this? Not what is my intention, not what do I wish I would do. What is my actual system? The structure that runs whether I feel like it or not. If the honest answer is, I don't have one, I've really been relying on motivation, you've just found the real problem. And the real problem is solvable. A character flaw feels permanent, but a system problem has a fix. Number 2, the system has to run before the day does. Here's something I've learned the hard way. By the time the demands start, by the time the first notification arrives, the first crisis lands, the first person needs something from you, it's already too late to find your footing. You're already reacting. The people who operate with consistent steadiness aren't doing more throughout the day. They're doing something specific before the day starts. For me and for members of Solving for Change, that practice is called My Daily Compass. It's a structured 5-minute practice that gets you grounded, clear, and intentional before the world starts making demands of you. I'm going to do a full dedicated video on how My Daily Compass works, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one. But the principle is this: you can't build the system in the middle of the chaos. You build it before the chaos starts. Number 3, make the next step automatic, not aspirational. The third thing, and this is where a lot of people get tripped up, is scope. When we rely on willpower, we tend to think in sweeping ambitions. I'm going to overhaul my entire morning. I'm going to transform my productivity. Starting Monday, I'm a completely different person. Systems don't work that way. Systems work in sequence, one next right step at a time. If you watched my first video, you'll remember Gene Kranz on Apollo 13 Mission Control. Let's work the problem. Not let's solve everything at once. Not let's talk about how we got here. Just what is the next right step right now? Phelps didn't think about the gold medal when his goggles filled with water. He thought about the next stroke. The system took care of the rest. Your job isn't to fix everything. Your job is to know what the next right step is and let the system carry you from there. If what I'm describing today resonates, if you've been blaming yourself for something that was actually a system problem, I want to invite you to take a free assessment at solvingforchange.com. It's specifically designed to show you where the gaps are showing up in your life right now, the places where you've been running on willpower instead of something that actually holds. It literally takes about 2 minutes. It costs nothing. And it gives you a clear, personalized picture of exactly where to start, not a generic answer, your answer. The link is in the description below, and if you're watching on your TV right now, scan the QR code on screen and take it right from your phone. Here's what I want to leave you with today. You're not lazy. You never were. You've been running on something, willpower, motivation, sheer determination, that was never designed to carry you through the kind of life you're actually trying to build. And every time it ran out, you blamed yourself instead of the system. That ends today. Michael Phelps didn't win the gold medal because he was more motivated than everyone else in the pool. He won it because someone helped him build a system that held, even blind, even under impossible pressure, even when everything went wrong. You deserve that kind of system. And it is far more available to you than you think. The only constant in life is change, but when it hits, your system doesn't have to break with it. I'll see you in the next video. If this hit home for you today, go ahead and subscribe. There's a lot more coming, and we don't want you to miss it. And if you know someone who's been quietly blaming themselves when the real issue is the system, please share this with them. It might just change how they see themselves.